In the ancient land of Greece, more than 2 millennia ago, a blind poet named Homer, along with the most renowned authors, playwrights, and historians of their time, would record the magnificent tales we now know as Greek mythology. These stories would speak of mighty heroes and powerful gods who shaped the destiny of the land. But before these tales could be told, there was only chaos, a great void of emptiness. From the chaos emerged Gaia, the earth, and Eros, the embodiment of love. They were joined by night and day, who brought an end to Erebus, the darkness, with the eternal cycle of dusk and dawn. Finally, Tartarus came into existence, the deepest abyss within the earth. In this primordial world, Cronus patiently waited for his chance to overthrow his father, Uranus. When the opportunity came, he castrated Uranus, and from the severed genitals, Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, was born. Zeus, one of Cronus's sons, was saved from being devoured by his father, and was raised by his grandmother Gaia on Mount Ida in Crete. He would later lead a 10-year war against the Titans, releasing the 100-handed giants and the legendary Cyclops craftsmen from the depths of the earth. After defeating the Titans, Zeus imprisoned them in Tartarus, where they would suffer for eternity. Atlas, who had led the Titans in battle, was given a particularly harsh punishment by Zeus. However, Themis, the Titan of law and order, and her son Prometheus managed to escape punishment. Prometheus, one of the few Titans spared, decided to create humanity. He fashioned man from clay and gifted them with fire, allowing them to emerge from their caves and become rulers of the earth. Zeus, however, was not pleased with Prometheus's actions and demanded animal sacrifices from mankind for each meal. In defiance, Prometheus killed a bull and divided it into 2 parts, offering Zeus the juicy meat and Hera the bare bones. This enraged Zeus, who took away the gift of fire from humanity. As punishment, Zeus chained Prometheus to a mountain, where an eagle would feast on his liver each day for millennia. The torment seemed endless. Festus, the god of smiths, shaped the first woman from clay at the request of Aphrodite and Zeus. Hermes, the messenger god, bestowed upon her the gift of speech. This woman, named Pandora, was given a sealed box by the gods, with strict instructions never to open it. For a time, Pandora and Epimetheus, the brother of Prometheus, lived happily together, exploring the wonders of nature. They even had a daughter named Pyrrha who brought them great joy. But Pandora's curiosity eventually got the better of her, and she couldn't resist opening the forbidden box. To her horror, it released all the evils that Prometheus had kept away from humanity. With the release of these evils, mankind was forever changed. They would no longer enjoy eternal youth and would grow arrogant and cruel. This drew the wrath of Zeus, who unleashed a great flood upon the world. The deluge wiped out all of humanity. In the aftermath, as the waters receded and the earth became calm once again, it was left devoid of human life. Only 2 survivors, Deucalion and Pyrrha, remained. They beseeched the gods for guidance on how to rebuild humanity. Their prayers were answered when the Titan Themis was sent to guide them. Humanity was born anew, but this time they would be protected by a tool of ultimate security, Nord's Ultimate Security Package. With features like a data breach scanner, ad blocker, privacy tools, a cross-platform password manager, dark web monitoring, 24/7 customer support, and access to the fastest VPN on the market, their digital privacy would be safeguarded. Under Zeus's rule from Mount Olympus, he controlled all weather changes and had 7 wives during his reign. His first wife, Metis, became pregnant with his child, but Zeus, fearing a prophecy that the child would overthrow him, swallowed Metis before she could give birth. This act caused Zeus a terrible headache, and he asked for his head to be split open. From the split head emerged his daughter Athena, who would go on to become one of the Olympian gods. Athena's aunt, Themis, a titan of justice and law, had betrayed her own kind to side with the gods during their war against the Titans. Her 3 children, known as the Fates, were responsible for weaving the threads of life that determined each individual's destiny. Zeus, with his insatiable desire, fathered many gods and goddesses with various mortal women. He often disguised himself to seduce women who caught his eye. One such woman was Europa, the princess of Tyre and sister to the famous hero Cadmus. Zeus transformed himself into a magnificent white bull to approach her, and Europa bore him many children. The continent of Europe was named in her honor. Hera, the protector of marriage and women, was also one of the most vengeful and spiteful gods on Mount Olympus. When she discovered Zeus's infidelity with Io, she demanded that he gift her a white cow as a present and locked Io in a cave, guarded by Argus, a monster with many eyes. Io's plight did not go unnoticed by Hermes, the master musician. He played his pipes and sang lullabies to the monster Argus, lulling him to sleep. Hermes then used his sword to slay the beast, freeing Io from her prison. Eventually, Io would find her way to the Nile in Egypt, far from Hera's wrath, and Zeus would finally restore her human form. Leto, another lover of Zeus, experienced the full extent of Hera's jealous rage. She fled across Greece in a desperate search for refuge. After 9 days of agonizing labor, the other goddesses took pity on Leto and allowed her to give birth to twins, Apollo and Artemis. These siblings would grow up to become fully fledged gods of Olympus. Queen Niobe, whose beauty was matched only by her arrogance, mocked Leto for having only 2 children. As punishment, Apollo and Artemis would kill all of Niobe's sons and daughters, leaving her alone in despair, begging the gods to end her pain. Apollo, known as the god of prophecy, embarked on a journey to Mount Parnassus, accompanied by a great snake named Python. He slew the serpent and constructed a great temple where its body fell, which would become the famous Oracle of Delphi. Filled with pride after his victory, Apollo declared himself the greatest archer to have ever lived. This declaration drew the ire of Eros, the god of love, who swore revenge against Apollo. Eros followed Apollo to the river Peneus, where he spotted Daphne, the river's daughter. Using his arrows, Eros made Apollo fall madly in love with Daphne, but also made Daphne feel nothing but disgust towards Apollo. In his pursuit of Daphne, Apollo used his powers to make laurel trees evergreen and carried a laurel wreath wherever he went to mourn his lost love. Apollo's most important child, Asclepius, became a famous physician who could bring the dead back to life. In response, Zeus killed Asclepius with a thunderbolt, but later resurrected him, making Asclepius the god of healing and medicine. Artemis, the goddess of the moon, was quick to anger and fiercely protected her chastity. Her brother Poseidon, the god of the seas and earthquakes, once punished King Minos of Crete for refusing to sacrifice his best bull to him. In response, Zeus punished Poseidon and Apollo by sending them to serve King Laomedon of Troy. There, they were tasked with building the city's famous walls. Athena, the goddess of war and wisdom, was known for her love of strategists and cunning heroes. She often aided them in their great quests. However, she was also a proud goddess who sought to stake her claim on the world. Athena had a fondness for music and art, inventing the trumpet and the flute. She was particularly proud of her skill in weaving, which would lead to a fateful encounter with Arachne. Arachne, a skilled weaver herself, challenged Athena to a weaving contest. Athena accepted, and the competition was fierce. In the end, Athena's tapestry depicted the gods in a favorable light, while Arachne's portrayed them in a mocking and disrespectful manner. Enraged by Arachne's arrogance, Athena struck her on the head and turned her into the first spider. Arachnids would be named in her honor. Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, emerged from Uranus's genitals and was often accompanied by Eros, who shot arrows into the hearts of potential lovers. One such individual was Narcissus, a beautiful young man burdened with vanity and arrogance. When the nymph Echo approached Narcissus, he rejected her. However, Nemesis, the goddess of vengeance, saw this and intervened. The next time Narcissus gazed at his reflection in a lake, he fell in love with himself. He stared at his own reflection for weeks until he could no longer bear it, and decided to take a dagger and plunge it into his heart. From his blood, a beautiful flower, the first Narcissus, bloomed. Pygmalion, a great artist from the island of Cyprus, had given up on women after years of unlucky love. He decided to create a statue of a woman, and when he finished, he was struck by its beauty. Pygmalion prayed to the gods for a woman as perfect as his statue, and to his amazement, the stone figure transformed into a woman of flesh and blood. Aphrodite had answered Pygmalion's prayers, and he embraced his newfound love, Galatea, with joy. Aphrodite delighted in helping young couples find love but was also a vain and jealous goddess. She would take revenge against those who stole the spotlight from her. Psyche, a mortal woman of extraordinary beauty, was admired by all but drew the jealousy of Aphrodite. Psyche's journey would lead her to a magnificent palace where she became the bride of a mysterious husband she was forbidden to see. Overjoyed with her new life, Psyche spent her days exploring the palace's beautiful gardens. However, one day, her curiosity got the better of her, and she lost her grip on an oil lamp, burning her husband, who turned out to be Eros, the god of love. Psyche, determined to reunite with Eros, sought Aphrodite's help. The goddess set her impossible tasks, including a journey to the underworld. Psyche's trials would ultimately lead to her reunion with Eros, and she would become immortal. Their love would be celebrated for eternity. Festus, the god of smiths, was born lame, and his mother, Hera, threw him off Olympus into the sea to drown. But he survived and became the god of pleasure, bringing joy to mortals. Aphrodite, the most beautiful of the Olympian gods, was married to Hephaestus, a great inventor who fashioned many of the palaces on Olympus and the equipment of the gods. Hephaestus created Athena's breastplate, Hermes' winged helmet and sandals, and Helios's chariot. Ares, the god of war, had a long-term affair with Aphrodite, the wife of Hephaestus. When Hephaestus discovered their infidelity, he devised an invisible net to trap them in bed together. This embarrassing incident exposed their affair to the other gods. Ares, however, was not content with only Aphrodite. He also had an affair with Eos, the goddess of the dawn. Eos fell in love with a young Trojan prince named Tithonus, whom she begged Zeus to make immortal. Her wish was granted, but she forgot to ask for eternal youth for Tithonus. As a result, he aged until he was unable to move, becoming the first cicada, an insect known for its long lifespan and early morning songs. Hermes, the messenger god and patron of thieves, was known as a trickster among the gods. He once gave birth to a child, Pan, who had the appearance of a hideous monster with horns and hooves. Pan's mother, Dryope, was horrified, but Hermes took his child to Mount Olympus, where the gods were intrigued by his appearance and adored him. Dionysus, the god of wine and parties, was born when his mother, Semele, asked Zeus to appear in his true form. Zeus placed the infant in his thigh until he was fully grown, and Dionysus became one of the most beloved gods in Greece. King Midas was granted the power to turn anything he touched into gold after saving a close friend of Dionysus. However, this gift quickly turned into a curse when everything Midas touched transformed into gold, including his own daughter. Desperate to undo the curse, Midas sought Dionysus's help and was eventually relieved of his golden touch. Above all else, Demeter was the goddess of farming, ensuring bountiful harvests and fertile lands. However, her daughter, Persephone, caught the eye of Hades, the god of the underworld. Hades abducted Persephone, causing Demeter to search desperately for her. After learning the truth from Helios, the sun god, Demeter refused to allow the earth to bear fruit until her daughter was returned. Zeus intervened and ordered Hades to release Persephone. However, a compromise was struck, and Persephone was allowed to return to the world of the living but only for part of the year. During her absence, Demeter mourned, causing winter, and when Persephone returned, spring and summer would flourish once more. Hades ruled the kingdom of the dead alongside Persephone. Thanatos, the god of death, commanded the process of dying itself. Charon guided the souls of the deceased across the river Styx to the underworld, where Cerberus, the three-headed dog, stood guard. In the underworld's court, 3 judges determined the fate of each soul. Depending on their judgment, souls would be directed to one of 3 paths: the fields of Asphodel, the eternal paradise of Elysium, or the deepest depths of Tartarus. Sisyphus, for tricking the gods, faced the eternal punishment of rolling a boulder up a steep hill, only to have it slip from his grasp each time. Murdering a family member was considered a grave sin in Greek society. Even if the murderer were still alive, the Furies, 3 sisters from the underworld, would hunt them down and torment them relentlessly. The field of mourning was a resting place for those who had spent their lives pursuing love but had been rejected. Orpheus, a renowned musician and poet, fell in love with the beautiful Eurydice. Tragically, on their wedding day, she died from a snake bite. Orpheus, determined to reunite with his beloved, ventured into the underworld to retrieve her. With his enchanting music, he persuaded Hades to release Eurydice under one condition: he must not look back at her until they had reached the world of the living. Heroes of the heroic age began to emerge, embarking on legendary adventures. One of the first heroes of this generation was Cadmus, who embarked on a quest to find his sister Europa. Cadmus followed a sacred cow and found the city of Thebes, where he faced various challenges and founded one of the greatest cities of ancient Greece. Cadmus's adventures continued, involving a dragon, a curse, and a complicated family history. He would become a key figure in the lineage of heroes and gods. Perseus, the son of Danae and Zeus, grew up to be a hero known for his daring quest to slay the Gorgon Medusa. Medusa, once a beautiful maiden dedicated to Athena, was cursed and transformed into a monster. Her gaze turned anyone who looked upon her into stone. Perseus embarked on a treacherous journey to obtain Medusa's head, guided by the nymphs of the Garden of the Hesperides. With the help of winged sandals, a reflective shield, and a bag provided by the gods, Perseus infiltrated Medusa's lair and successfully decapitated her, turning her head to stone in his magical bag. During his journey, Perseus encountered the beautiful Andromeda, whom he saved from a sea monster. As a reward, Andromeda's parents offered her hand in marriage to Perseus, and the two began their life together. Returning to his homeland of Seriphos, Perseus confronted King Polydectes, who had mistreated his mother, Danae. In anger, Perseus revealed Medusa's head, turning Polydectes and his soldiers to stone. Perseus then gave the Gorgon's head to Athena, who placed it on her shield. The tale of Perseus, the hero who had slain the Gorgon Medusa, was but the beginning of a grand and interconnected tapestry of Greek mythology. As the story goes, Perseus, hailed as a hero, was destined to face trials that would test his mettle and shape the destiny of those around him. One fateful day, Perseus participated in a discus-throwing competition, showcasing his incredible strength. However, fate had a cruel twist in store for him. In his moment of triumph, he hurled the discus with such force that it veered off course, striking an unfortunate member of the audience. This tragic accident fulfilled an ominous prophecy that Perseus's own actions would lead to the death of his grandfather. Zeus, the king of the gods, observed this unfolding drama from his throne atop Mount Olympus. His attention was drawn to Alcmena, the beautiful granddaughter of Perseus, who descended to earth. Zeus's heart was stirred, and he descended in human form to be with her. Their union bore fruit as Alcmena soon found herself pregnant with a son, who would later be known as Heracles, or Hercules to the Romans. Meanwhile, Hera, ever resentful of her husband Zeus's infidelity, used her divine magic to interfere with the birth of Heracles. She delayed his birth while expediting the arrival of Eurystheus, another descendant of Perseus. Hera's manipulation forced Zeus's hand, leading him to bestow the kingship upon Eurystheus instead of Heracles, in what was a form of revenge against Hera herself. When Heracles was finally born, a celestial event unfolded. As he suckled from his mother's breast, his milk sprayed across the heavens, forming what we now know as the Milky Way. This divine spectacle marked the arrival of a figure who would become both a symbol of unparalleled strength and a tragic hero plagued by inner demons. As Heracles grew, his prodigious abilities were evident to all. He was trained by some of Greece's most renowned masters, gaining expertise in everything from archery to music. However, his incredible strength was accompanied by a short temper that made him a perilous presence to both friends and foes alike. One tragic incident marred his journey to heroism. During a music lesson with his teacher Linus, Heracles' temper flared, and he struck Linus fatally with his instrument. This act of violence left Heracles with the guilt of having taken a life, a burden he would carry with him for years to come. Heracles went on to marry Megara, the Theban princess, and they had 3 children together. However, the vengeful Hera, still harboring resentment for her husband's illegitimate son, devised a cruel plan. She drove Heracles to madness, compelling him to murder his own wife and children in a fit of madness. It was a horrendous act that would haunt him forever, for the killing of a family member was considered one of the gravest crimes in ancient Greece. Haunted by the ghosts of his past, Heracles sought solace and guidance. His only hope lay in the revered Oracle of Delphi, a place where seekers of wisdom and redemption turned for answers. However, his path to redemption would not be easy. King Eurystheus, jealous of Heracles' abilities and resentful of his past, devised a cunning plan. He ordered Heracles to undertake 10 labors, tasks that seemed insurmountable, each one more perilous than the last. Heracles' first labor was to confront the Nemean lion, a fearsome creature whose golden hide was impervious to weapons. After months of rigorous training, Heracles confronted the lion, wrestling with it until he heard the sickening sound of its neck snapping. The lion's pelt would later become a symbol of his strength. The second labor brought him face to face with the Lernaean Hydra, a water serpent with 9 venomous heads. Hera, ever the schemer, added a new layer of difficulty by placing a giant crab in the lake where the Hydra dwelled. Heracles, undaunted, fought valiantly, decapitating the beast and searing its necks with fire to prevent their regeneration. As a testament to his victory, the constellation Cancer was born in the night sky. Heracles' trials continued, as he was tasked with capturing the Ceryneian hind, a lightning-fast creature. He followed this by capturing the Erymanthian boar, but his cousin Eurystheus remained unsatisfied, stoking Heracles' frustration. During his quest to capture the Erymanthian boar, Heracles sought shelter with his friend Pholus, a centaur. Their peaceful gathering was disrupted when the centaur Nessus attempted to abduct Heracles' wife, Deianira. A fierce battle ensued, resulting in Nessus's death. Unbeknownst to Heracles, Nessus had survived, nursing his wounds and plotting a terrible revenge. The labor to clean the Augean stables, a task most considered impossible, became Heracles' 6th trial. But with his legendary determination, he succeeded by diverting 2 rivers to cleanse the filth. Despite his success, King Eurystheus, ever the antagonist, refused to acknowledge this labor as valid. Next came the task of driving away the Stymphalian birds, ferocious creatures with iron beaks and poisonous droppings. Heracles' 7th labor led him to King Minos and the enigmatic Minotaur, a half-man, half-bull monstrosity imprisoned within a labyrinth. Heracles' 8th labor took him to Diomedes, the Thracian king whose horses were as aggressive as they were deadly, fed on human flesh. Heracles was undeterred and managed to subdue the beasts. His 9th labor was a confrontation with the Amazons to obtain their queen's girdle. Though the task appeared perilous, Heracles was surprised by their hospitality. Hera, ever watchful, intervened once more, causing discord that led to bloodshed. In his rage, Heracles slew the queen, Hippolyta, securing the girdle. The 10th labor saw Heracles venture to the land of Erythea, tasked with capturing the cattle of the 3-headed giant Geryon. Before his departure, he made a bold threat to the sun itself, threatening to shoot it down. The sun god Helios appeared and placated Heracles, promising to shine less intensely during his journey. Heracles' journey to obtain the golden apples from the garden of the Hesperides marked his 11th labor. However, the garden's location remained a mystery. Seeking guidance, he freed Prometheus, who suggested enlisting the aid of Atlas, the titan who held up the sky as punishment. Heracles brokered a deal, briefly relieving Atlas of his burden to retrieve the apples. Finally, his 12th labor tasked him with capturing Cerberus, the formidable 3-headed dog guarding the gates of the underworld. Heracles wrestled with the beast until it was exhausted, successfully bringing it to the surface and back to the world of the living. Upon his return to King Eurystheus, Heracles was granted a pardon for his past crimes, finding solace and redemption at last. But Heracles' adventures were far from over. The Argonauts, having embarked on their epic journey alongside Jason, found themselves facing yet another formidable obstacle on the island of Crete. Here, they encountered Talos, a menacing bronze giant that tirelessly patrolled the shores, relentlessly destroying any ship that dared to approach. In their darkest hour, it was the sorcery of Medea that would save them. She summoned her magic, weaving a spell that rendered Talos immortal, thus ending his destructive rampage. Jason, fueled by his longing to reclaim his homeland, had set his sights on Iolcus. However, upon his return, he was confronted by a grim reality. King Peleus had put his father to death in his absence, and the city was now under the rule of a ruthless tyrant. Medea, ever the cunning strategist, devised a plan for vengeance, one that would ensure Jason's ascent to the throne. In a cruel twist of fate, this plan would succeed all too well. Upon Medea's return to Iolcus, a horrifying sight awaited her. She found Jason's own daughters brutally murdering their father, King Peleus, following her dark scheme to gain control of the kingdom. The plan had worked to perfection, but the consequences were far grimmer than anticipated. Now, Jason was poised to take his rightful place on the throne of Iolcus. However, King Peleus' son, Acastus, soon uncovered Medea's role in his father's gruesome murder. Fueled by anger and the thirst for vengeance, Acastus drove Jason and Medea from the city, their once promising future in ruins. With their dreams shattered, Jason and Medea sought refuge in the city of Corinth, where they hoped to rebuild their lives. Yet the shadows of their past actions cast a long and haunting presence over them. Jason, forever haunted by the knowledge of the cursed robe that had brought about Medea's downfall, often visited the Argo, the legendary ship that had carried them on their quests. But one fateful day, as he lay beneath the rotting stern of the ship, tragedy struck. The wooden structure collapsed upon him, crushing him beneath its weight. Medea, in her newfound life as Queen of Athens after fleeing Corinth, faced her own challenges. Her rise to power, initially marked by success, was soon met with opposition. Theseus, the offspring of two mortal men with the divine blood of Poseidon coursing through his veins, had come into his own as a powerful hero. Possessing remarkable agility and strength, Theseus became a beacon of hope for those in need. Raised by hunters and tutored by centaurs, he was destined for greatness. As Theseus reached manhood, he embarked on a journey to claim his father's possessions. Medea, the new Queen of Athens, saw this as an opportunity to eliminate a potential threat. She dispatched Theseus to face the formidable bull of Marathon, confident that the beast would spell his doom. To her dismay, Theseus emerged victorious, dispatching the bull with ease and returning to Athens in triumph. Medea, relentless in her pursuit of power, resorted to treachery once more. She offered Theseus a poisoned cup of wine, intent on eliminating him. However, her plans were thwarted by Aegeus, the king of Athens, who recognized the sword and sandals of his son, saving Theseus from the deadly plot. Frustrated by her repeated failures, Medea returned to her homeland of Colchis, where she sought reconciliation with her father, who had been sorely disappointed by her previous actions. Meanwhile, a new chapter in the realm of heroes and legends was unfolding. King Aeneas and Queen Althea of Calydon were blessed with a son, Meleager, who, unbeknownst to them, carried the divine blood of the war god Ares within him. This divine lineage would grant Meleager immense power and bravery, qualities that would become evident in the trials ahead. Calydon was soon plagued by a monstrous boar, a creature of immense size and ferocity that rampaged through the kingdom, leaving destruction in its wake. The boar's relentless attacks tore through towns, trampled crops, and claimed the lives of those unfortunate enough to cross its path. Desperate for a solution, King Aeneas sent messengers bearing an urgent plea to the far reaches of Greece. The call was clear: gather the greatest heroes of the land to join in a hunt to slay the beast. Among the heroes who answered the call was Atalanta, a remarkable woman who had been nurtured and protected by a bear, raised by hunters, and had become one of the greatest archers in the land. Her prowess in combat, speed, and marksmanship surpassed that of many men. Yet, when she offered to join the hunt, she was met with mockery and contempt from her fellow warriors. Only Meleager, captivated by her grace and courage, passionately argued for her inclusion in the heroic endeavor. Atalanta's unparalleled skill with the bow proved pivotal in the hunt for the Caledonian boar. With a well-aimed iron-tipped arrow, she struck the beast down, and Meleager delivered the fatal blow with a spear through its heart. However, their triumph would be marred by tragedy. Meleager's uncles, Toxeus and Plexippus, driven by jealousy and greed, demanded that the boar's hide be awarded to them instead of Meleager's fellow hunters. Meleager, unable to tolerate their unjust claims, drew his sword and struck down his own uncles, a grim reminder of the complexities of heroism and familial ties. As the hunters prepared to return to Caledon, word reached Queen Althea that her son, Meleager, had achieved a great victory. Overwhelmed by emotions, she rushed to meet her son, but the story took a dark turn. A hidden secret from the past would cast a shadow over their reunion. Long ago, Queen Althea had received a mysterious prophecy that foretold her son's fate. She had hidden a large log in the depths of her palace, a log destined to consume itself when her son's life was in danger. Upon hearing of Meleager's victory and fearing for his life, she made the heart-wrenching decision to throw the log into the fire, sealing her son's fate. Meleager's life, once marked by heroism and promise, was now extinguished by the very actions of his mother. Atalanta, whom he had come to admire and love, was left to mourn his loss. The tale of Atalanta, however, did not end with the slaying of the boar. She became the center of another legendary story, one involving a foot race that would change her life forever. A young man named Hippomenes challenged her to a race, and the prize was 3 golden apples bestowed by Aphrodite herself. The race was a thrilling contest of skill and strategy, and in the end, Hippomenes emerged victorious, earning the hand of Atalanta in marriage. Atalanta and Hippomenes, now united in matrimony, embarked on a new chapter of their lives. Yet, their happiness was tempered by the knowledge that they owed their union to Aphrodite's golden apples. However, fate was not finished weaving its intricate web. In their newfound bliss, Atalanta and Hippomenes overlooked a crucial act of gratitude, offering proper sacrifice to Aphrodite for her divine aid. The goddess, slighted by their oversight, chose to remind them of her power. One day, while they sought solace within a sacred temple of Zeus, the king of the gods, Aphrodite imposed her judgment. She compelled Atalanta and Hippomenes to engage in an intimate act within the temple, an act that violated its sanctity. Zeus, witnessing the desecration of his temple, punished the couple for their transgression. Their punishment was a transformation into lions, condemned to roam the wild as powerful yet tragic beasts, forever separated from their human existence. As the generations passed, the heroes of old made way for a new era of heroes, as Zeus grew wary of the ever-increasing number of demigods on earth. The kingdom of Troy, ruled by King Priam and Queen Hecuba, stood as the most prominent and powerful of all. Their eldest son, Prince Hector, was celebrated as a paragon of honor and bravery. Devoted to his homeland and family, Hector was held in the highest esteem. Zeus, ever the fickle and unpredictable deity, had a penchant for interfering in the affairs of mortals. His latest dalliance had been with Queen Leda of Sparta, whom he had seduced by transforming into a magnificent swan. From this union, she bore 2 sets of twins, Castor and Pollux, and Clytemnestra and Helen. The divine blood that flowed through their veins destined them for extraordinary fates. Yet, it was the goddess of discord and strife, Eris, who would set in motion a chain of events that would shake the foundations of the mortal world. Eris, with her malevolent gift of chaos, sowed discord among the gods, sparking a fierce rivalry. The dispute escalated until Zeus, reluctant to take sides, decided to delegate the responsibility of judgment to immortal Prince Paris of Troy. Athena, Hera, and Aphrodite, each vying for his favor, presented Paris with distinct offers. Athena pledged to make him the king of Europe and Asia, promising wisdom and skill in war. Hera offered dominion over vast lands and the power of a mighty ruler. Aphrodite, however, dangled the most irresistible prize before him, the love of the most beautiful woman in the world. Paris, lured by the intoxicating allure of Aphrodite's offer, chose the goddess of love as the victor. Little did he know that his decision would set into motion a chain of events that would lead to the legendary Trojan War. Helen, renowned far and wide for her unparalleled beauty, arrived in Troy as the object of desire for countless men. Among those who sought her hand in marriage was Menelaus, king of Mycenae. Helen's choice was made, and she wed Menelaus, becoming queen of Mycenae. However, the gods were not content to let fate unfold without their influence. One exception was Eris, the goddess of discord and strife, who reveled in chaos. She alone was not invited to the wedding, and in her spite she cast a golden apple among the guests. The apple bore an inscription, "For the fairest." The rivalry that ensued among the goddesses Athena, Hera, and Aphrodite over the title of the fairest led to jealousy and resentment. Their feud escalated until Zeus, hoping to avoid further divine conflict, delegated the task of judgment to immortal Prince Paris of Troy. Each goddess offered Paris a unique reward in exchange for his decision. Athena vowed to grant him wisdom and strategic prowess in war. Hera promised him dominion over vast realms and the glory of a powerful ruler. Aphrodite, however, tempted him with the most enchanting of promises, the love of the most beautiful woman in the world. Paris, seduced by Aphrodite's offer, awarded her the golden apple, declaring her the fairest. This decision would set the stage for a series of events that would culminate in the legendary Trojan War, a conflict that would shake the very foundations of the ancient world. Menelaus, the aggrieved husband, was informed of Helen's abduction and her presence in Troy. Consumed by anger and the need to reclaim his wife, he rallied his armies and called upon the oaths of all Helen's former suitors. These vows bound them to stand by his side in this time of need, and thus began the call to arms. The Greek forces assembled under the command of Agamemnon, and their fleet sailed for Troy, seeking vengeance and the return of Helen. The Trojan War, a conflict of epic proportions, had begun, pitting the mighty Greeks against the powerful Trojans. The war would rage on for 9 long years, with both sides enduring untold hardships, sacrifices, and losses. The heroes of the age, including the indomitable Achilles, the wise Odysseus, and the valiant Ajax the Greater and Ajax the Lesser, would join the fray, their destinies entwined with the unfolding drama of the war. Achilles, born in the underworld and granted immortality by being submerged in the waters of the river Styx, was a warrior of unparalleled strength and prowess. However, his one vulnerability was a fateful heel that remained exposed. As the war raged on, a peculiar obstacle arose. The wind ceased to blow, and the Greek fleet found itself stranded, unable to set sail for Troy. Agamemnon consulted an oracle, which revealed that the winds could only be restored through a most grievous sacrifice, the life of his eldest daughter, Iphigenia. Agamemnon, torn between familial love and the needs of his people, made the heart-wrenching decision to sacrifice his own daughter. Iphigenia's life was taken at the altar of Artemis, appeasing the goddess and releasing the winds from her grasp. With the winds at their backs, the Greek fleet finally set sail for Troy, their resolve steeled by vengeance and the desire to see Helen returned. However, as the heroes of Greece prepared for battle, they were unaware of the many trials and tribulations that lay ahead. In the midst of the war, Aeneas, the son of Aphrodite and cousin to the royal family of Troy, emerged as a formidable figure. His destiny would be forever intertwined with the fate of Troy, as he fought fiercely to protect his homeland from the encroaching Greek forces. The Trojans, too, were not without their own champions, and one among them was the valiant Prince Hector. Known for his unwavering devotion to Troy, his sense of honor, and his bravery in battle, Hector became a symbol of hope for his people. Yet, even as the heroes of Greece and Troy clashed on the battlefield, the gods themselves were divided by the conflict. Athena, ever the patron of warriors and strategy, supported the Greek cause, while Aphrodite, who had influenced the war's inception, championed the Trojan side. The struggle between the divine forces further fueled the flames of war, as the gods sought to influence the outcome according to their favor. In the heart of the besieged city of Troy, Queen Hecuba, a wise and compassionate ruler, watched as the city she loved faced its greatest challenge. Her husband, King Priam, remained resolute in the face of adversity, determined to protect their beloved homeland from the invading Greeks. As the war raged on, Prince Hector, their eldest son and Troy's greatest hero, took to the battlefield day after day, defending his people with unwavering courage. Hector's deeds of valor, and his commitment to his family, and city earned him the admiration and respect of both Trojans and Greeks alike. Yet the gods, ever capricious in their actions, had woven a web of destiny that would ultimately lead to Hector's tragic fate. A prophecy foretold that the walls of Troy would not fall as long as the city possessed the Palladium, a sacred statue of Athena. Determined to secure victory, the Greek hero Odysseus and his cunning accomplice Diomedes hatched a plan to infiltrate Troy and steal the Palladium. Disguised as beggars, Odysseus and Diomedes gained entry to the city and, through a clever ruse, managed to acquire the Palladium. Unbeknownst to them, their actions set in motion a chain of events that would hasten the downfall of Troy. As the Greeks continued their relentless assault on the city, Hector's sister, the prophetic princess Cassandra, delivered warnings of impending doom. However, her prophecies were often dismissed as the ravings of madness, and her pleas for the Trojans to take heed went unheeded. The war dragged on, and both sides suffered immeasurable losses. The heroes of Greece, driven by their oath to Menelaus and their desire for vengeance, fought with unparalleled determination. Among them, the indomitable Achilles stood as a formidable force, his strength and skill unmatched. Yet, Achilles bore a vulnerability known to all his Achilles heel, the one part of his body that could be harmed. The Trojans, led by Hector's unwavering leadership, defended their city with resilience and honor. Hector's love for his wife, Andromache, and their young son, Astyanax, provided him with the strength to endure the brutal realities of war. Even as the conflict raged, the bonds of family and duty remained paramount in Hector's heart. As the years wore on, the once great city of Troy began to show the scars of war. Its walls, once impervious, crumbled under the relentless siege of the Greeks. The gods themselves, divided in their support, watched with both fascination and sorrow as the mortal world was consumed by violence and strife. Throughout this tumultuous period, Prince Paris of Troy, the catalyst for the war, faced the consequences of his actions. Despite his love for Helen, the Greek woman who had become his wife, Paris was haunted by the knowledge that his choices had brought untold suffering to both his people and the Greeks. Amid the chaos, Paris sought to prove his worth as a warrior and protect his beloved city. He faced formidable adversaries on the battlefield, including the mighty Achilles, whose combat prowess was the stuff of legend. In their fateful encounter, Paris managed to deliver a fatal blow to Achilles, striking him in the vulnerable heel and ending the hero's life. The death of Achilles marked a turning point in the war, as both sides mourned the loss of a legendary figure. Yet the conflict showed no signs of abating. With the Greeks continuing their relentless assault, and the Trojans determined to defend their homeland, the fate of Troy hung in the balance. As the war raged on, the gods themselves were not immune to the suffering and strife that had consumed the mortal realm. The divine beings who had once guided and shaped the destiny of heroes were now entangled in a cosmic struggle of their own, as the repercussions of their actions reverberated throughout the world. In the midst of this epic conflict, the destinies of mortals and gods converged in a complex tapestry of love, betrayal, and tragedy. The story of Troy and the heroes who fought within its walls would be remembered for generations to come, a testament to the enduring power of myth and the profound impact of the gods on the lives of mortals. And so, the Trojan War raged on. As the age of heroes neared its twilight, the epic sagas of ancient Greece unfolded their final, dramatic chapters, weaving tales of valor, tragedy, and redemption. Achilles, the mightiest of all Greek warriors, had withdrawn from the battle in a haze of grief and anger after the loss of his dearest friend, Patroclus. The Trojan prince Hector, seizing the opportunity, had slain Patroclus and sent shockwaves throughout the Greek camp with the ease of his victory. Achilles was consumed by anguish and rage. Determined to avenge his friend's death, he donned his legendary armor and charged back into the fray. Hector, noble and unyielding, stood his ground. Their fateful encounter ended with Hector's death, and Achilles dragged the Trojan prince's lifeless body in ignominious triumph around the walls of Troy. But the tides of destiny are inexorable, and even the fiercest heroes are bound by them. Priam, Hector's father and Troy's king, in an act of profound humility, came to Achilles under a flag of truce. he implored the Greek hero to return his son's body for a proper burial. Touched by the king's plea, Achilles relented, and for a brief moment, enmity gave way to humanity as Priam and Achilles shared in the grief that united them. Yet, the fate of Troy remained hanging in the balance. The city, once impregnable behind its mighty walls, now stood vulnerable. Inside its gates, Cassandra, the cursed prophetess, could do nothing but watch in terror as the Greek forces, led by crafty Odysseus, infiltrated the city under the cloak of darkness. The ominous warnings she sounded went unheeded. That night, the famous Trojan horse, a colossal wooden effigy, was left as a deceptive offering at the city gates. The Trojans, blinded by their victory celebrations, brought the colossal steed within the walls. Cassandra, driven to despair, urged them to set it ablaze, but her prophetic voice fell on deaf ears. As the city slumbered, the belly of the wooden beast disgorged a stealthy host of Greek warriors, including Odysseus, Menelaus, Diomedes, and Ajax. They had secretly infiltrated the city and, under the cover of darkness, flung open the city's gates to allow the Greek fleet, concealed behind a nearby island, to return. Troy's vaunted walls, which had withstood a decade of assaults, now faced betrayal from within. The once mighty city fell to ruin, and its streets ran with blood. The gods looked on, some with favor, some with sorrow, but none with the power or will to halt the course of mortal strife. Out of the fiery destruction emerged Aeneas, a Trojan hero of indomitable spirit, leading a small band of survivors. With the ashes of their homeland still smoldering, they embarked on an arduous journey, sailing across the Mediterranean. The shores of Italy would become their new home, and from their lineage, the great city of Rome would arise, destined to shape the course of human history. Agamemnon, the flawed and power-hungry leader of the Greeks, returned to Mycenae with newfound wealth and captives. Yet, his own family was far from intact. His wife, Clytemnestra, had seethed with resentment during his absence, and her rage culminated in a merciless act. She orchestrated the murder of her husband, avenging the sacrifice of their daughter, Iphigenia. The house of Atreus, cursed for generations, was a cauldron of vengeance and despair. Orestes, their tormented son, would be haunted by his own terrible act for years to come. As for Odysseus, the resourceful hero whose wanderings had spanned a decade, he finally set sail for his beloved Ithaca after the fall of Troy. Yet, the unpredictable whims of the gods continued to test him. Storms and strange islands led him further astray from his homeland. The Cyclops Polyphemus, the malevolent sorceress Circe, the treacherous Sirens, and the perilous whirlpool of Charybdis, and the six-headed Scylla all stood as harrowing trials in his path. Odysseus faced yet another ordeal when his men, driven by hunger and defiance, slaughtered the sacred cattle of the sun god Helios. Zeus, angered by their sacrilege, unleashed a devastating thunderbolt that shattered Odysseus's ship and cast him adrift for days in the open sea. After these harrowing trials, Odysseus found himself marooned on the island of the enchantress Calypso, who held him captive for 7 years. In his heart, he longed for the wife he left behind, the ever-faithful Penelope. It was Athena, the goddess of wisdom and strategy, who interceded on Odysseus's behalf. She beseeched Zeus to release him from Calypso's clutches. Zeus, ever the arbiter of fate, agreed. With a makeshift raft, Odysseus set sail for home once more, buffeted by storms and currents. His journey brought him to the shores of Phaeacia, where he was discovered by the Phoenician princess Nausicaa. She clothed and fed the weary traveler, and guided him to her father's palace. There, Odysseus found refuge and sanctuary, albeit in the guise of a nameless wanderer. In the palace of the Phaeacians, the renowned poet Demodocus regaled the court with songs of the gods and the fall of Troy. Odysseus, veiled in secrecy, was moved by the tales of his own Odyssey. He disclosed his 10-year journey, the hardships endured, and the trials faced. Upon departing the Phaeacian shores, Odysseus arrived on the island of Ithaca, 20 years since he had left. With the guidance of Athena, he devised a shrewd plan to regain his kingdom and confront the 100 suitors who had laid claim to his home and wife in his absence. With the palace in chaos, Penelope devised a challenge for the suitors. She declared that she would marry the man who could string Odysseus's great bow and shoot an arrow through 12 axes, a feat that only Odysseus himself had ever accomplished. Odysseus, disguised as a beggar, stepped forward to take the challenge. He effortlessly strung the bow and, with a single arrow, sent it through the 12 axes with unmatched precision. The suitors, exposed as interlopers and condemned by their own treachery, met their grim fate. Finally, the hero and his beloved Penelope were reunited, their love tested and proven through years of longing and tribulation. As the age of heroes drew to a close, the divine drama that had raged across the heavens and the mortal realm began to fade. Zeus, the king of the gods, attempted one last act of divine creation, fashioning humanity from gold, silver, and bronze. Yet, the golden age of humanity could not be restored, and the age of iron was ushered in, an era marked by strife, hardship, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge, including the understanding of gravity. The age of gods and heroes had given way to the age of mortals, who, with resilience and curiosity, would forge their own destinies. The tales of Greek mythology endured as a testament to the enduring power of storytelling, capturing the essence of human existence in all its glory and imperfection. In the twilight of this extraordinary epoch, the heroes and gods of ancient Greece receded into the annals of time, leaving behind a legacy of courage, cunning, and the relentless pursuit of meaning in a world filled with both wonder and peril. Their stories, handed down through the ages, continue to inspire and captivate.
The ancient world is a treasure trove of captivating myths and legends, each offering a tantalizing glimpse into the rich tapestry of human imagination. Among this vast array of narratives, the Epic of Gilgamesh stands as an unparalleled achievement in the realm of storytelling. This 4,000-year-old Mesopotamian epic has not merely weathered the ravages of time, it has thrived, continuing to beguile and enthrall readers with its epic adventures, profound themes, and timeless wisdom. In this video, we embark on a journey through the enchanting world of King Gilgamesh, a journey that transcends the boundaries of history and culture. As we delve into the depths of this mesmerizing narrative, we shall uncover the epic's origins, explore its enduring legacy, and unearth the profound life lessons it imparts. Within the vast pantheon of human literary creations, the Epic of Gilgamesh holds a unique and esteemed position. It is often regarded as the world's oldest known epic poem. This epic, wrought from the depths of antiquity, predates even the most venerable of well-known epics, such as Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, by centuries. Composed in the cradle of civilization, ancient Mesopotamia, located in what is now modern-day Iraq, this epic is a testament to the enduring power of storytelling. The narrative of the epic unfolds against the backdrop of a world that existed nearly 5 millennia ago. It revolves around the life and adventures of King Gilgamesh, a historical figure who may have reigned over the magnificent city of Uruk around 2700 BCE. Through the ages, the sands of time have preserved these tales, granting us insight into the aspirations, fears, and dreams of a long-forgotten civilization. At the epic's core lies a profound and timeless theme, the quest for immortality. Gilgamesh, the valiant and charismatic king, grapples with the relentless specter of death that haunts the human experience. Overwhelmed by the fear of mortality, he embarks on a perilous odyssey in search of the elusive secret of eternal life. In his pursuit, he traverses treacherous landscapes, confronts formidable gods, and battles monstrous creatures. The narrative culminates in a flood story that bears striking resemblances to the biblical tale of Noah's Ark, a testament to the shared threads of human mythology that transcend geographical and cultural boundaries. Gilgamesh's quest for immortality mirrors the universal human desire to conquer the inexorable grip of death. It serves as a poignant reminder that, despite the eons that separate us, the fundamental human condition remains unchanged. The epic urges us to contemplate the meaning of our existence and confront our shared mortality with courage and dignity. While Gilgamesh's quest for immortality is undeniably central to the narrative, the epic also weaves another profound theme, the enduring bond of friendship. At the heart of the story is the extraordinary companionship between Gilgamesh and Enkidu. Enkidu, initially a wild man raised by animals, is created by the gods with the purpose of humbling Gilgamesh, who has become tyrannical in his power and arrogance. However, instead of becoming adversaries, these two disparate souls forge an unbreakable friendship that transcends the ordinary. Their friendship is a testament to the transformative power of genuine relationships. Through their connection, both Gilgamesh and Enkidu undergo profound personal growth and development. The epic underscores the notion that human connection is not merely a passing fancy but is, in fact, the very essence of a meaningful and fulfilling life. As we journey further into the heart of the Epic of Gilgamesh, we find ourselves traversing the boundaries of time and culture. The epic's enduring resonance serves as a testament to the universal themes it explores: the fear of mortality, the quest for meaning, and the transformative power of friendship. These themes, woven into the tapestry of an ancient narrative, continue to guide and inspire us, reminding us that the questions it raises are as relevant today as they were millennia ago. In our ever-changing world, the lessons of Gilgamesh stand as beacons of wisdom, illuminating our path as we navigate the complexities of the human experience. At the heart of Gilgamesh lies a trove of universal themes: mortality, friendship, and the ceaseless quest for meaning. These themes are the connective tissue that binds humanity across cultures and time periods. The epic's exploration of mortality, for instance, speaks directly to our shared human experience. Gilgamesh's unrelenting pursuit of immortality mirrors the age-old human desire to defy death's inevitability. His journey becomes an allegory for our own relentless pursuit of a life that transcends the ephemeral. The reverberations of Gilgamesh's influence can be felt in some of the most iconic works of world literature. The works of Homer, including the Iliad and Odyssey, bear the marks of Gilgamesh's enduring legacy. These ancient Greek epics echo the Mesopotamian tales themes of heroism, epic quests, and the complex interplay between gods and mortals. The parallels are evident, and it is not far-fetched to envision that the Greek poets drew inspiration from the Epic of Gilgamesh. Similarly, the biblical narratives of the Old Testament bear traces of Gilgamesh's influence. The flood story in the Book of Genesis, which bears remarkable similarities to the Mesopotamian flood narrative within Gilgamesh, exemplifies this connection. This suggests that the epic's resonance extended far beyond the Mesopotamian region, leaving an indelible imprint on the religious and cultural traditions that followed. Beyond its literary significance, the Epic of Gilgamesh has played a pivotal role in enriching our understanding of ancient Mesopotamian culture. Archaeological excavations have unearthed a treasure trove of cuneiform tablets inscribed with Gilgamesh's tales. These tablets, often discovered in the ruins of ancient Mesopotamian cities, have illuminated the customs, beliefs, and daily life of a civilization that thrived millennia ago. The tablets reveal not only the narrative prowess of the Mesopotamian scribes, but also provide insights into the religious beliefs and practices of the time. They shed light on the reverence accorded to divinities and the significance of epic storytelling as a means of preserving cultural heritage. In this sense, the Epic of Gilgamesh serves as a bridge to the past, allowing us to glimpse the thoughts and aspirations of a bygone era. One of the most poignant lessons that the Epic of Gilgamesh imparts is the recognition of the fragility of human existence. Gilgamesh's relentless pursuit of immortality serves as a powerful metaphor for the universal human desire to conquer death. Yet, the epic reminds us that mortality is an integral part of the human condition. True meaning, it suggests, is not found in escaping death, but in embracing life fully and authentically. In this, the epic encourages us to treasure each moment, for it is in the way we live our lives that we find profound significance. At its core, the epic reverberates with the testament to the transformative power of friendship. The deep and enduring bond between Gilgamesh and Enkidu serves as an enduring reminder that human connection is the cornerstone of a meaningful existence. Their friendship catalyzes personal growth and evolution, demonstrating that it is through our relationships that we discover our true selves. The epic encourages us to cherish the connections we forge with others, for in these connections, we find not only solace but also the essence of a fulfilling life. As we journey through the Epic of Gilgamesh, we are reminded that its influence extends far beyond the confines of time and place. It has permeated the very essence of human storytelling, leaving an indelible legacy that continues to shape our literature, enrich our understanding of ancient civilizations, and offer timeless lessons that resonate with the core of our humanity. At its very core, the Epic of Gilgamesh serves as a profound exploration of the eternal human quest for meaning and purpose. Gilgamesh's relentless pursuit of immortality, while an epic adventure in itself, is emblematic of the existential questions that each of us grapples with during our own lifetimes. It is a search for a deeper significance, a higher purpose, and a way to leave a lasting impact on the world. In our own lives, we frequently find ourselves on a similar quest, albeit in more subtle forms. We contemplate our existence and ponder the meaning behind our daily actions. We seek to understand the purpose of our journey, our relationships, and the mark we will leave behind. It is an innate and universal human inclination to strive for meaning and significance in the face of life's fleeting nature. The profound wisdom of the Epic of Gilgamesh lies not in the acquisition of immortality itself, but in the realization that meaning can be found in the very act of living. The epic encourages us to redirect our gaze from the unattainable goal of escaping mortality to the tangible and profound sources of meaning that surround us. It invites us to seek meaning in our relationships, with family, friends, and kindred spirits who enrich our lives. These connections, as seen in the deep friendship between Gilgamesh and Enkidu, are the threads that weave the tapestry of our existence, providing comfort, joy, and a sense of purpose. The epic also urges us to discover meaning in our actions, the choices we make, the kindness we show, and the impact we have on the lives of others. In the pursuit of noble deeds, we find fulfillment and a sense of worth that transcends the boundaries of time. Lastly, it reminds us that our impact on the world, our legacy, can be a source of profound meaning. Even though we may not achieve immortality in the literal sense, the positive influence we leave behind in the hearts and minds of those we touch endures, perpetuating our essence through the generations. As we traverse the epic tales of adventure, friendship, and the quest for immortality within the Epic of Gilgamesh, we find ourselves confronted with profound questions about our own existence. The epic serves as a timeless mirror, reflecting our own aspirations, fears, and hopes. In a world that is ceaselessly changing, the lessons of Gilgamesh remain as relevant today as they were millennia ago. It is a poignant reminder that our pursuit of meaning, our connections with others, and our acceptance of our own mortality are all integral aspects of the enduring human experience. In the end, like the valiant King Gilgamesh himself, we may not discover the elusive secret to immortality. Nevertheless, we have the opportunity to uncover the richness of a life well lived, a life imbued with meaning, purpose, and an enduring impact on the world. So, as we close the pages of this ancient epic, let us pause to reflect on our own journeys and the wisdom we can glean from the enduring tale of King Gilgamesh in Mesopotamian mythology. In doing so, we embark on our own epic quest, a quest for meaning, connection, and the legacy we leave behind in the ever-flowing river of human existence.
Cyrus, a name that would echo through the annals of history, was born into the rugged and fertile land of Anshan, nestled amid the formidable Zagros Mountains in the year 600 BC. His birthright, although royal, was embedded in a region marked by diverse Persian tribes, each fiercely guarding their identity and interests. Anshan, an integral part of the Median and Elamite territories, was a mosaic of cultures, languages, and ambitions. It was within this dynamic and politically charged landscape that the young Cyrus was raised, a landscape that would profoundly shape his destiny. Cyrus's early life was a testament to the rich tapestry of cultures that crisscrossed his homeland. He grew up hearing the stories of his ancestors, the legends of their tribes, and the challenges they faced. He was fluent in the languages of the Persians, the Medes, and the Elamites, giving him a unique perspective on the simmering political climate of the region. During his formative years, the political landscape of ancient Persia was marked by tribal rivalries, shifting allegiances, and power struggles. Various Persian tribes, including the Pasargadae, Medes, and Persians, were engaged in a relentless struggle for dominance. This environment, marked by both external threats and internal divisions, defined the challenges that Cyrus would later confront and overcome. As Cyrus came of age, he demonstrated exceptional leadership qualities and military prowess, He embarked on a series of military campaigns, distinguishing himself as a capable and ambitious leader. These early victories not only enhanced his reputation but also laid the groundwork for his grand vision, uniting the disparate Persian tribes under a single banner. Cyrus's military campaigns were marked by strategic brilliance and audacity. His victories over neighboring tribes demonstrated his acute understanding of military tactics and his ability to command respect and loyalty. Slowly but surely, he began to unite the Persian tribes through diplomacy, alliances, and even strategic marriages. In this tumultuous political landscape, Cyrus emerged as a unifying figure, a leader who could bridge the gaps between the various Persian tribes. His charisma, vision, and military prowess were instrumental in uniting these disparate groups into a formidable force. As he ascended to power, the foundation was laid for the formation of the Achaemenid Empire, one of the most enduring empires in history. Cyrus's rise was not just a personal journey but a testament to the resilience and spirit of a people who would go on to build one of the greatest empires the world had ever seen. The stage was set for the young ruler to embark on a series of conquests that would shape the course of history, a journey that would be explored in the next chapter of his remarkable life. Cyrus was a visionary leader with ambitions that stretched far beyond the borders of his homeland. His expansionist policies were the crucible in which the Achaemenid Empire, one of history's most influential empires, would be forged. Cyrus's insatiable hunger for conquest took him on a journey that would shape the destiny of nations. He was driven by a desire to create a unified Persian empire, one that would eclipse the greatness of any that had come before it. His first major conquest was the Median Empire, a formidable power in its own right. The defeat of the Medes marked a turning point in Cyrus's rise to supremacy. With strategic brilliance and unwavering determination, he overcame the Medes, incorporating their territories and subjects into his burgeoning empire. It was a testament to his military prowess and ambition. Next, Cyrus turned his attention westward, to the powerful Lydian kingdom in present-day western Turkey. This campaign would bring him face to face with King Croesus of Lydia, renowned for his wealth and military might. The encounter between Cyrus and Croesus would go down in history as a clash of titans. Through a combination of strategic cunning and military skill, Cyrus emerged victorious, bringing Lydia under Persian control. The defeat of Croesus, once believed to be the richest man in the world, added to Cyrus's growing legend. But it was the conquest of Babylon that would etch Cyrus's name into the annals of history. The Babylonian Empire, ruled by King Nabonidus, was a mighty citadel of power and culture. The fall of Babylon in 539 BC is a testament to Cyrus's clever strategies and the loyalty of his subjects. The city's fortifications were impervious, yet Cyrus found a way. It was a brilliant combination of strategy, diplomacy, and subterfuge that allowed him to capture the city almost bloodlessly. The significance of Babylon's capture was not just territorial, it was a symbolic triumph. Cyrus was hailed as a liberator by the people of Babylon, as he allowed the enslaved peoples of the city to return to their homelands, a policy that would become a hallmark of his rule. This decree was immortalized in the Cyrus Cylinder, the world's first declaration of human rights, a document that emphasized religious tolerance and freedom. The extent of Cyrus's conquests was nothing short of awe-inspiring. The empire he forged stretched from the Mediterranean Sea to the borders of India, encompassing diverse cultures, languages, and peoples. It was a mosaic of civilizations that Cyrus governed with a vision that transcended mere conquest. It was a vision of unity through diversity. As the dust of his conquest settled, Cyrus stood atop an empire that stretched across the ancient world. But his legacy was not merely one of military might. It was a legacy of fairness, diplomacy, and a commitment to the values of freedom and tolerance. His governance style and his approach to ruling this vast and diverse empire would become a hallmark of his rule, a topic to be explored in the next chapter of his extraordinary life. In the annals of history, few artifacts carry as much weight and significance as the Cyrus Cylinder, an ancient clay cylinder considered the world's first declaration of human rights. This remarkable artifact offers a profound glimpse into the moral compass of Cyrus the Great and the principles that underpinned his rule. The Cyrus cylinder, discovered in Babylon in 1879, is a testament to the enduring power of written records. It is a modest-sized, barrel-shaped clay cylinder, covered in cuneiform inscriptions that hold the wisdom and benevolence of a great leader. This artifact is a tangible link to the past, a direct connection to a ruler who lived over 2 millennia ago. The significance of the Cyrus cylinder lies in its content, which articulates a proclamation that is nothing short of revolutionary. Within its inscriptions, Cyrus declares his intention to free the enslaved peoples of Babylon and allow them to return to their homelands. This remarkable act of liberation was unprecedented in its time and sets Cyrus apart as a leader with a commitment to human rights and humanitarian values. The cylinder's content is a powerful testament to Cyrus's benevolence and sense of justice. He proclaims, "I allowed all to reside in peace. I put an end to their misfortunes." This declaration reflects his resolve to bring an end to the suffering of those who had been oppressed and enslaved under the rule of Babylon. Cyrus's decree went even further by emphasizing religious tolerance and the importance of restoring religious artifacts to their respective temples. This inclusive approach to governance, where different faiths were respected and their places of worship preserved, was a hallmark of his rule. The Cyrus cylinder, often referred to as a charter of human rights, underscores Cyrus's commitment to principles that are not bound by time or place. His belief in justice, freedom, and the rights of individuals to live without oppression laid the groundwork for a more enlightened form of governance. The impact of the Cyrus cylinder extended far beyond the confines of ancient Babylon. It influenced the development of legal and ethical codes in subsequent empires and civilizations. Its principles reverberated through history and found echoes in documents like the Magna Carta and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, emphasizing the enduring legacy of Cyrus's humanitarian vision. This ancient artifact, modest in appearance but profound in its implications, offers a glimpse into the heart and mind of a leader who sought to create a more just and compassionate world. The Cyrus cylinder is not just a historical relic, it is a testament to the timeless values of human rights and freedom that continue to inspire and resonate with people around the world. Cyrus the Great, revered for his exceptional wisdom and visionary leadership, was not just a conqueror of lands but a builder of an empire founded on principles of fairness, decentralization, and inclusivity. His governance style would go on to set the standard for rulers of diverse empires throughout history. Cyrus's policies were a testament to his commitment to fairness and justice. In a time when autocracy often prevailed, he chose a different path. He believed in a decentralized form of governance that allowed local leaders to govern their regions autonomously. Rather than imposing his own culture and language on the diverse peoples within his empire, Cyrus respected their unique customs and traditions. This approach contributed to the stability of his empire and the preservation of regional identities. His subjects were not merely subjects, they were partners in building a grand vision of unity through diversity. Cyrus understood that the key to the longevity of his empire lay in the hearts of its people. His benevolent rule ensured that the diverse cultures and languages under his dominion were not oppressed but celebrated. One of Cyrus's most enduring legacies was the construction of the Royal Road, a monumental infrastructure project that spanned the breadth of his empire. This ancient superhighway, extending over 1,600 miles, connected the major cities within the empire, from Sardis in Anatolia to Susa in Persia. It was a remarkable engineering feat that facilitated communication, trade, and administrative efficiency. The Royal Road became a lifeline of the empire, a testament to Cyrus's foresight and commitment to improving the lives of his subjects. Cyrus's approach to governance was not merely pragmatic, it was rooted in a deep sense of empathy and wisdom. He was known for his accessibility to his subjects, regardless of their social standing. He would often walk among the common people, listening to their concerns and needs. His leadership style was characterized by an ability to connect with his subjects on a personal level, earning him their loyalty and respect. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Cyrus's rule was his commitment to religious tolerance. In a world marked by religious strife and intolerance, Cyrus allowed conquered peoples to practice their own religions freely. He even facilitated the return of religious artifacts to their original temples, as proclaimed in the Cyrus Cylinder. This inclusive approach to faith was not just a matter of policy, it was a reflection of his deeply held belief in the importance of individual freedoms. Cyrus the Great's governance and leadership style were a beacon of light in a world often shrouded in darkness. He was not just a conqueror of lands but a builder of a lasting legacy, a legacy that transcends time and place. His empire, founded on principles of fairness, decentralization, and inclusivity, would serve as a model for rulers and leaders throughout history. As we delve into the final chapter of his remarkable life, we explore the enduring legacy of Cyrus the Great, a legacy that continues to inspire and guide humanity. As the pages of history turn, few rulers leave behind a legacy as profound and enduring as that of Cyrus the Great. His reign, marked by multiculturalism, human rights, and visionary leadership, left an indelible mark on the world, a mark that transcends time and continues to inspire. Cyrus's most remarkable legacy lies in his promotion of multiculturalism and human rights. In an era when empires were often built on oppression and assimilation, he chose a different path. His empire, the Achaemenid Empire, was a mosaic of diverse cultures, languages, and peoples. Cyrus's commitment to religious tolerance, freedom, and the rights of individuals to practice their faiths and traditions without fear of persecution set a standard that few rulers in history have matched. Cyrus's influence extended beyond his own empire to shape the course of world history. His policies and ideals influenced later Persian rulers, including Darius the Great and Artaxerxes, who continued to uphold the values of their great predecessor. The legacy of Cyrus was further carried forward by the spread of Zoroastrianism, a religion that promoted many of the same principles of righteousness and justice that Cyrus had championed. Even in modern times, the name of Cyrus the Great commands respect and reverence. His memory is celebrated not only in Iran, where he is regarded as a national hero, but also in the global community. The Cyrus Cylinder has been recognized by UNESCO as a symbol of humanity's heritage and is displayed in prestigious museums worldwide. Cyrus's legacy is not confined to the realm of history. It lives on as a source of inspiration for those who champion the values of justice, freedom, and multiculturalism. His vision of a world where diverse cultures coexist in harmony, where the rights of individuals are protected, and where rulers lead with empathy and wisdom, continues to be a guiding light for humanity. In the tapestry of world history, Cyrus the Great stands as a luminary figure, a ruler whose legacy shines brightly through the ages. Cyrus the Great, despite his many triumphs and enduring legacy, met his end on the battlefield, a fitting conclusion to the life of a warrior king. It was in a fateful encounter with the Mythology, a nomadic people of Central Asia, that Cyrus would breathe his last breath. The circumstances surrounding Cyrus's death are steeped in legend and lore. The exact details remain shrouded in the mists of time, but the story goes that he led an expedition against the Mythology, led by their fierce queen, Tomyris. In the ensuing battle, Cyrus found himself facing a formidable adversary. Tomyris, in a bid to avenge the loss of her son in a previous battle, devised a cunning strategy. She left behind a tempting feast and, when Cyrus's army indulged, her forces fell upon them. It was a brutal battle, and despite his renowned military prowess, Cyrus was killed in the clash. With the passing of Cyrus, his empire faced the question of succession. His son, Cambyses II, ascended to the throne, inheriting the vast dominion his father had carved out. While Cambyses II continued his father's imperial ambitions and expanded the empire into Egypt, his rule was marked by a different style and temperament. He faced challenges that were not only military but also cultural and political, as the empire encompassed an increasingly diverse array of territories. The Achaemenid Empire, under the rule of Cyrus's successors, continued to be shaped by his vision of multiculturalism, religious tolerance, and governance that respected the unique identities of its subjects. His principles became part of the empire's ethos, defining its character for generations to come. Cyrus the Great, in life and in death, left an indelible mark on history. His vision of an empire that valued justice, freedom, and the rights of individuals influenced the course of civilization. In the annals of history, There emerge individuals whose lives transcend their time, whose achievements resonate through the ages, and whose principles inspire generations. Such is the legacy of Cyrus. Cyrus's life was a testament to the power of vision and leadership. Born in the rugged region of Anshan, he rose to become the founder of the Achaemenid Empire, one of history's greatest empires. His conquests were marked not only by military prowess but also by a commitment to justice, fairness, and the rights of individuals. At the heart of Cyrus's legacy lies his promotion of human rights and freedom. His declaration, etched into the annals of history through the Cyrus Cylinder, proclaimed the emancipation of enslaved peoples and the importance of religious tolerance. It was a message that reverberated far beyond the boundaries of his empire, influencing the development of legal and ethical codes in later civilizations. Cyrus the Great's legacy endures as a source of inspiration for those who champion the values of justice, multiculturalism, and the rights of individuals to live without oppression. His vision of a world where diverse cultures coexist in harmony, where the rights of individuals are protected, and where rulers lead with empathy and wisdom, continues to guide humanity. We encourage you, our viewers, to delve deeper into the life and contributions of Cyrus the Great. His story is a reminder that the pursuit of justice, freedom, and tolerance is a noble endeavor that transcends time and place. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to you for embarking on this journey through the remarkable life of Cyrus the Great. We invite you to like, share, and comment on this video to spread awareness of this historical figure whose legacy continues to inspire. For those eager to explore further, we have provided additional resources in the video description. Let us continue to celebrate the enduring legacy of Cyrus the Great, a ruler whose principles continue to shape our world today. Thank you for joining us on this historical voyage.
In the annals of ancient tales, Athamas, a formidable monarch, fathered 2 offspring with Nephi, a celestial deity of the heavens. Yet, he forsook her embrace to forge a new dynasty alongside Ino, Cadmus's daughter. Ino, consumed by envy over Phrixus and Heli's affections, harbored a sinister design. She conspired to eradicate the seeds vital for the city's future harvest, casting an ominous shadow of famine. Terrified farmers beseeched a courageous cadre of messengers to traverse perilous paths in pursuit of counsel from Delphi's oracle. However, before the messengers could embark on their quest, Nephi, the divine cloud goddess, materialized before King Athamas. She bore grave tidings and implored the king to safeguard his firstborn son. Phrixus, shouldering his sister Heli, embarked upon a harrowing journey astride a magnificent ram. Tragedy befell them as Heli plummeted into the roiling waters, forever memorializing her in the waters, henceforth known as the Hellespont. Phrixus, undeterred, continued his voyage, ultimately reaching the dominion of King Hades. Here, the Golden Fleece, symbolic of royal authority and might, resided, guarded fiercely by the Coltrane dragon. Meanwhile, Tyro, the progeny of King Salaminus, found herself entangled in the capricious affections of Oenopus, a river deity. Oenopus, however, spurned her advances, while Poseidon, the sea god, seized the opportunity to woo Tyro, disguising himself as Oenopus. Their clandestine liaison led to a fateful night of passion. Bound by familial bonds, Tyro wed her uncle, King Corthias, and bore 3 sons, among whom Ezon was the rightful heir. Tragically, Ezon's ascent to the throne was thwarted by the cruel hand of fate as his father's soul embarked on its journey to the realm of the departed. Jason, the rightful heir, was secreted away by his father and entrusted to Chiron, the wise centaur, for nurturing. However, upon his return, Jason was met with a city ablaze, ensnared by Peleus's soldiers. Trapped and imprisoned, Jason's fate hung in the balance. During his treacherous journey back to Iolcus, he encountered a formidable river, which, in a swift current, wrested away one of his sandals, leaving him to forge onward with a solitary barefoot. This seemingly trivial event would ultimately become an omen, for it was prophesied that a man with but one sandal would bring change. Word of Jason's epic quest echoed far and wide, summoning heroes from the 4 corners of the realm to join him on his dangerous odyssey. Foremost among them was Hercules, the divine offspring of Zeus, renowned as the greatest hero of all. He was soon joined by Zeus and Hercules, the sons of the north wind. Jason, with the assistance of Argus, embarked on the construction of the illustrious Argo, setting sail under the protective aegis of Athena. Their journey led them first to Lemnos, an island solely inhabited by women. However, they were met with a dreadful revelation: the women had mercilessly slain their male counterparts. In her divine mercy, Aphrodite lifted the curse, allowing the women to welcome their newfound guests. Yet, the passing of a year saw the Argonauts still anchored to the island's allure. Their voyage continued eastward, passing Troy and navigating the treacherous Hellespont, where Helle had met her tragic end years prior. Their next destination was Cyzicus, where they received a warm reception from the city's king. However, misfortune soon befell them, as a fierce gale forced them back to the harbor on the night of their departure, where the king's soldiers, shrouded in darkness, mistook the Argonauts for marauders. Heracles, relentless in his quest to find his missing comrade Hylas, was ultimately persuaded to depart by Zeus and Hercules, the winged twins. The Argonauts' journey led them to the land of the Bebryces, ruled by an undefeated champion. Heracles dispatched his second-in-command, the demigod Pollux, who swiftly defeated the reigning monarch with a devastating blow to the elbow. Navigating the dangerous clashing rocks, the Argonauts successfully entered the Black Sea, embarking on their quest to claim the Golden Fleece. This coveted artifact, the most prized treasure known to mankind, was safeguarded by King Aeetes, who, forewarned by an oracle, demanded that Jason undertake a series of seemingly impossible tasks in exchange for the cherished relic. Jason, undaunted, faced the monumental challenge of taming fire-breathing bulls with bronze hooves and sowing a field with dragon's teeth. With the unwavering support of his confidant Olympus and the mystical ointment bestowed upon him by Medea, the enchanting daughter of King Aeetes, Jason overcame these Herculean trials. In an audacious move, Jason lulled the dragon into a slumber with potent herbs, enabling him to seize the Golden Fleece. However, as dawn broke, King Aeetes discovered the theft, swiftly mustering a fleet to give chase. Medea, employing her cunning wiles, orchestrated a cunning ploy to outwit her father. She implored Argos to halt, ostensibly to engage in peace negotiations with her brother Aspertus. Yet, as Aspertus's vessel neared, she cunningly pulled him on board and plunged a dagger into his heart, dismembering his lifeless body. The Argonauts, faced with limited options for escape, set a course westward, eventually reaching the eastern Rhaetian Sea. After weeks of traversing its azure expanse, they were burdened by the imposing Alps. They resorted to carrying their vessel through the mountainous terrain on foot to surmount this formidable obstacle. By Circe's counsel, the Argonauts remained vigilant as they ventured forth, guided only by the harmonious melodies that now emanated from Orpheus's lyre. His enchanting music drowned out the beguiling siren's call, preserving the crew's lives. Having encountered countless perils, the intrepid seafarers sought respite on the shores of Syria for a brief interlude before resuming their homeward journey to Greece. Their voyage was fraught with challenges, and they made diligent efforts to reposition their ship into the open sea. Jason's epic odyssey neared its conclusion, as divine providence led him to the guardian goddesses of Libya. These benevolent beings aided him in steering the Argo westward until it reached Lake Triton, where they could embark on the final leg of their journey. Navigating treacherous waters guarded by the formidable Talos, the Argonauts eventually got the kingdom of Iolcus. Here, Jason claimed the Golden Fleece, demanding his rightful ascendancy to the throne. However, the ruling king refused, urging Jason's departure. Medea, cunning and ruthless, devised a scheme to secure power by orchestrating the king's demise through his own daughters. Jason, poised to seize the throne, faced a dire revelation when the king's son unearthed Medea's complicity in the regicide. In the face of impending doom, Jason and Medea were forced to flee the city. Together, they forged a new life and family, blessed with numerous progeny. Yet, as the years passed, Jason's insatiable thirst for fame and fortune led him astray. Abandoning Medea and their children, he pursued marriage with Princess Creusa. Jason's ensuing years were marked by loneliness and unfulfillment as he failed to find love anew or father more children. His visits to the Argo persisted, but one fateful day, the vessel collapsed, crushing him beneath its weight. Medea, escaping to Athens, ascended to the throne, only to encounter new challenges to her dominion. This intricate tapestry of ancient lore, replete with heroes and heroines, epic trials, and divine intervention, is a testament to the enduring power of myth and the timeless allure of adventure. Long ago, 100 years before Troy's downfall, a fresh era of heroes dawned. Picture Greece, a land where mighty cities like Athens and Sparta thrived, and nestled among them, the ancient kingdom of Argos, ruled by King Acrisius. Now, Acrisius, he yearned for power, even expelling his own brother, Peritus, to secure his throne. With Peritus gone, Acrisius married Eurydice, and they were blessed with a beautiful daughter, Danae. But fate played its tricks, for Eurydice could not give Acrisius the one thing he desired most, a son to inherit his throne and legacy. Despair gnawed at Acrisius, pushing him to seek answers from the gods. He embarked on a journey to the Oracle of Delphi, hoping for guidance. But the oracle didn't provide the counsel he sought. Instead, it delivered a chilling prophecy: not only would he never father a son, but his future grandson would bring about his demise. Terrified of this grim destiny, Acrisius chose a desperate path. He locked his only child, Danae, in a bronze prison tower, so high that no mortal could reach her. With the threat of his grandson gone, he believed he could cheat fate. Yet, destiny has a way of asserting itself. Zeus, the almighty king of the gods, cast his gaze upon the imprisoned princess from his throne on Mount Olympus. Danae's beauty enchanted him, and he couldn't resist her allure. Zeus, in a divine shower of gold, visited her chamber. As the golden rain fell upon her, Danae became pregnant and soon gave birth to a son, Perseus. She raised him in secret, but after 4 years of concealment, they were discovered. Acrisius, torn between the prophecy and his love for his daughter and grandchild, chose banishment. He locked them in a chest and cast it adrift upon the sea. The journey across the boundless sea lasted for days and nights, until they reached the shores of Seriphos. There, fisherman, Dix and his brother, discovered them. Dix raised the boy as his own, and Perseus grew into a man on the island. However, life took a darker turn when King Polydectes, Dix's brother, set his eyes on Danae and desired her as his wife. Perseus, fiercely protective of his mother, stood as her guardian. To remove Perseus from the picture, King Polydectes seized an opportunity. He hosted a grand feast, inviting guests from across the island, demanding each to bring a horse as tribute. Perseus, penniless but strong and swift, boasted that he could offer a grander gift, the head of Medusa. Unbelievable as it seemed, King Polydectes seized the chance and ordered Perseus to fetch the dreaded monster's head. Perseus embarked on this seemingly impossible task, knowing only of the terrifying tales that shrouded Medusa. But Medusa's story was not always one of terror. She was immortal, the most beautiful of 3 sisters, renowned for their unmatched beauty. Men would fall in love at the mere sight of her. However, Medusa had devoted her life to Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, taking a vow of celibacy to serve as her priestess. Yet, one fateful day, Poseidon, the sea god, was captivated by her beauty. He pursued her to Athena's temple, where he forced himself upon her. Enraged at this sacrilege, Athena blamed Medusa for allowing herself to be defiled in her sacred temple. Unable to punish her powerful uncle Poseidon, Athena cursed Medusa, twisting her once beautiful features into a hideous visage. Medusa's flowing hair turned into a tangled web of snakes, and her once alluring gaze transformed into a petrifying curse that turned anyone who met her eyes into stone. Athena's wrath extended to Medusa's sisters, transforming them into hideous creatures known as the Gorgons. Exiled, the 3 sisters found refuge in North Africa, but their isolation fueled their bitterness. Warriors from around the world hunted them for sport, and their hatred for the outside world grew. Perseus, on his mission to slay Medusa, sought divine assistance, and to his surprise, his prayers were answered. Athena and Hermes approached him with gifts from Olympus, an indestructible sword and a polished shield, capable of reflecting his own image. They also advised him to consult the Grey Sisters, ancient beings who could guide him further. These elderly sisters, with only one eye and one tooth among them, refused to reveal the needed information, as they were sisters to Medusa. However, Perseus, clever and resourceful, seized their vulnerability and forced them to divulge the location of the items he required. These items, he learned, were with the nymphs, forest deities tending to the garden of the Hesperides. The nymphs provided Perseus with winged sandals, Hades' invisibility cap, and an enchanted bag to safely contain Medusa's head. Following the nymphs' directions, Perseus used the winged sandals to fly to North Africa, the location of Medusa's cave. There, he found her sleeping among the stone corpses of her victims. Using the polished shield to glimpse only her reflection, Perseus carefully beheaded Medusa. As he placed her head into the enchanted bag, a surprising twist of fate occurred. From Medusa's body sprang Pegasus, a magnificent winged horse and Poseidon's child, who had been growing inside her. Perseus mounted Pegasus and soared out of the cave, beginning his journey back to Greece. While flying over the ocean, Perseus spotted a woman chained to a rock. It was the beautiful princess Andromeda, offered as a sacrifice to the gods by her mother, Queen Cassiopeia of Ethiopia. Cassiopeia had proclaimed herself the most beautiful woman in the world, even more so than the Nereids, Poseidon's companions. Enraged, Poseidon sent a flood and the fearsome sea creature, Cetus, to ravage the kingdom's shores. To end the devastation, the oracle declared that Andromeda must be sacrificed. With a heavy heart, Queen Cassiopeia complied. Just as Perseus flew overhead, captivated by Andromeda's beauty, he made an offer to the king and queen. He would slay the sea creature in exchange for Andromeda's hand in marriage. Relieved, they agreed. Perseus, aided by Pegasus, swiftly defeated the monster. With Andromeda saved, he married her, and the queen fulfilled her promise. With his new bride and Pegasus, Perseus returned to the island of Seriphos, where his mother, Danae, awaited. However, things had changed during his absence. His mother, Danae, had continued to reject King Polydectes' advances. Without Perseus to protect her, she had to go into hiding. Learning of the king's violent pursuit, Perseus descended upon the palace, holding Medusa's head before him. The king's guards drew their swords, but Perseus turned them all to stone, leaving King Polydectes forever immortalized in his terrified expression. Reunited at last, Danae embraced her son, relieved that she could finally live without fear. But Perseus couldn't return his gifts to the gods. Athena took Medusa's severed head and placed it on her shield, a lasting symbol of her power and dominance. Leaving Seriphos, Perseus, Andromeda, and Danae decided to return to Argos, Perseus's birthplace, where King Acrisius still ruled. Yet, fate wasn't done with them. Perseus, participating in a local athletics tournament, unintentionally fulfilled the prophecy. His strength led to a tragic accident. He accidentally killed his grandfather, King Acrisius, during the discus throw. This act, shedding the blood of a family member, was a grave crime in ancient Greek society. Perseus was no longer welcome in Argos. He founded his own kingdom, Mycenae, which soon became the most powerful city in Greece. Its colossal walls, built with the help of mighty Cyclops, stood as a testament to Perseus' rule. As Perseus and Andromeda reigned, their family grew, and their legacy endured for generations. Little did they know that their descendant, Hercules, the son of Zeus and Alcmena, would become the greatest hero of all. His legendary 12 labors would echo through the annals of history, a tale of heroism and valor known to all corners of the world.
In the verdant heart of ancient Greece, there lived a young man named Narcissus, whose extraordinary beauty was said to rival that of the gods themselves. His allure was a divine gift, a testament to the union of the ethereal and earthly. But this gift, as radiant as it was, would prove to be a curse that led to a tragedy that would echo through the annals of time. Narcissus was born to Cephissus, the river god, and Liriope, a nymph of the forest. From a tender age, It was clear that Narcissus was destined to stand out. His golden hair flowed like a river of sunshine, his eyes were deep pools of sapphire, and his skin was as smooth and fair as the petals of a lily. His beauty was bewitching, and the world seemed to bow before him. Narcissus grew up in the lush woods surrounding Mount Helicon, spending his days wandering among the trees and streams. His beauty did not go unnoticed. Nymphs and satyrs, creatures of the wilderness, yearned for his affection. Yet, he remained untouched by their advances, for he was consumed by his own image, captivated by the reflection he found in the crystal-clear waters of a pool hidden deep within the forest. One fateful day, as Narcissus bent down to drink from the pool, he glimpsed his reflection for the first time. His heart skipped a beat, and he fell hopelessly in love with the image he saw. It was a love like no other, for he believed his reflection to be a nymph dwelling within the pool, one who could only be touched by his own tender caress. "Who are you?" Narcissus whispered, his voice trembling with desire. "I am Echo." The reflection seemed to respond, for Narcissus could only hear his own voice echoing back to him. He was captivated, his infatuation growing with each passing moment. Narcissus spent his days kneeling by the pool, gazing longingly at his reflection, and whispering sweet words to Echo, who only ever repeated his own words back to him. He refused the advances of nymphs and satyrs, oblivious to their affection, for he was ensnared by his own beauty, lost in the labyrinth of self-adoration. News of Narcissus's obsession with his reflection spread throughout the land, and the gods themselves took notice. It was not long before the gods decided to intervene, for Narcissus's vanity had reached unbearable heights. Nemesis, the goddess of retribution and vengeance, saw the suffering that Narcissus's self-love had caused. She decided that he must be taught a lesson, for such unbridled narcissism could not go unpunished. Nemesis devised a plan, and soon, the fateful day arrived. Narcissus, as usual, knelt by the pool, enraptured by his own reflection. Unbeknownst to him, Nemesis called upon Echo, the nymph whose voice he had so ardently pursued. She imbued Echo with the power to speak her own words, to finally break the curse of endless repetition. As Narcissus continued to whisper sweet nothings to his reflection, Echo, for the first time, spoke her own words. "Love me," she implored, her voice carrying the depth of her longing and sorrow. Narcissus, startled by the unfamiliar voice, looked around, searching for the source of the words. "Who's there?" he called out. "It is I, Echo," she replied, her voice quivering with emotion. "I love you, Narcissus. I am not the reflection you see, but a living, breathing being who longs for your touch." Narcissus, torn between his love for the reflection and the real, living Echo, felt a torment he had never known before. His heart ached with the knowledge that he could never embrace the reflection in the pool, but he also knew that he could not reciprocate Echo's love. "I cannot love you," he declared, tears welling up in his eyes. "I am in love with my own reflection, with the beauty I see in the pool." Echo, devastated by his rejection, could only repeat his words back to him, her heart breaking with each syllable. She retreated into the shadows of the forest, her voice forever condemned to echo the words of others. Narcissus, left alone by the pool, continued to gaze at his reflection, oblivious to the tragedy that had unfolded. He reached out to touch the image, but as his fingers grazed the water's surface, the reflection shattered into 1,000 sparkling fragments, mirroring the shattered fragments of his own heart. In his despair, Narcissus cried out for Echo, but she was nowhere to be found. He wandered through the forest, searching for her, but she remained hidden, her voice now a mere whisper in the breeze. Unable to bear the pain of his unrequited love, Narcissus withdrew from the world. He wasted away by the same pool where he had fallen in love with his own reflection, until all that remained of him was a beautiful flower, a white, trumpet-shaped blossom that bore his name, the Narcissus flower. The gods, witnessing the tragic end of Narcissus, were filled with sorrow. They understood that the consequences of unchecked vanity and self-absorption could lead to the most profound and heartbreaking of tragedies. And so, they immortalized the story of Narcissus as a warning, a cautionary tale of the dangers of narcissism. The term, Narcissism was born from this tale, signifying an excessive love or admiration for oneself, often to the detriment of one's relationships and well-being. It became a psychological concept, studied and analyzed by scholars and clinicians alike. Narcissism, as depicted in the story of Narcissus, could lead to isolation, self-destruction, and a profound inability to connect with others on a deep and meaningful level. The story of Narcissus and Echo continues to resonate in modern times as a timeless reminder of the perils of excessive self-love and the importance of genuine human connection. It is a story that cautions us against becoming ensnared in our own reflections, lest we, like Narcissus, find ourselves lost in a world of empty echoes, forever yearning for a love that can never be returned. As the centuries passed, the story of Narcissus and Echo remained a prominent and enduring myth, embedded in the collective consciousness of humanity. Artists, writers, and philosophers drew inspiration from its themes, using them to explore the complexities of human nature and the pitfalls of vanity.